been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Okay, FedEx delivered this today. No fooling around. We're gonna get right into it because this is the 10th bike, I believe, that we've reviewed from Engwe. This is their flagship. This is the biggest. I did a review previously on one that was the X24. This is the next one up. This is the X26. So let me get out of the box, and man, you're gonna be surprised how big this thing is and how much it's got to offer. How many of you want something that's long range? That's this one. This one's got dual batteries on it. How many of you want a fat tire bike? That's this one. This one's got fat tires. How many of you want one that will seat 2 people? This one. Now it's got a seat pad. Don't have foot pegs, but it does have seat peg. How many of you want one that can go off-roading and has a smooth ride? That's this one. This has triple suspension. How many of you want one that might be a little bit easier to manipulate in a weird space? And that's this one. This one folds. I'm not going to say it's portable, but it does fold to help you with options of getting it put into whatever it may be you're trying to put it into. How many of you want one that looks really cool? That's this one. How many of you want one that'll do 28 miles an hour? That's this one. So what else would you want? There's really nothing else. The only people that this is not going to make happy at all, you got to be a little bit taller for this one. As it suggests, 26, that's the tire size. Yeah, 26 inch, and the frame is large. So I'm going to cut the box open, let you take a look at it, see what it looks like. So here you can see what the packaging looks like. There was a couple other foam pieces up on top. Here's the seat. One of the things you want to look for is the box that's down below. What that box is the accessories to help you put this together. Some tools, the charger, and the manual, of course, to help you out. So what I'm going to do off camera is follow through the manual, go ahead and do the assembly on this, which you can see. Looks like the front tire goes on. Looks like I'm gonna have to put the handlebars on. And it looks like I'm gonna have to put the seat pad on the back. And then of course the seat right here. And we'll be ready to go. So let's make that magic happen in 3, 2, 1. And here it is. It's a beast. This thing is huge. I had some errands to run, so it was delayed in getting built today. Hence the longer shadows. Man, I'll tell you, I had the X24 and it was basically essentially the same frame, but the shorter wheels and tires. This one, it's tall. Now I know I look pretty round. However, I'm 6 foot tall, but as far as my inseam here, let me tell you, I'm on my toes. I can't flat foot this. It's up there. A nice clear display. We'll take a look at that here. But the bike is pretty substantial. I'm telling you, the size of it all. And as far as the suspension, oh my, the back is stiff. I mean, really stiff. I let the air out of the shocks in the back, and yet I can't, you know, even at 275 pounds, I can barely get this thing to really bounce. Now the good news about that is the bike is so heavy. You know, it's a 90-pound bike. It's very stable when you ride something this heavy. And whenever you're jumping something this heavy or going off bumps, I'm not going to say you're going to motocross and, you know, clear a double or anything like that. But when you land, that rear end is going to have a lot of suspension there to help you out. So it is an 8-speed transmission, and that is a step above what they should be. Usually entry level wise, you're talking about a 7-speed, but it is a Shimano Altus. Everything is really nice on this as far as the way that it's put together. Like I said, it feels like it's a comfortable bike just sitting on it. The padding on the seat is very, very good. You can see here how plush that is. And it's not a very hot day today. I think it might be 77. Very, very plush. Of course, the highlight of this, other than, well, you know, there's so many highlights. The big tires, like I said, it has mag wheels. That's kind of cool. Really looks nice. The shocks on the back, of course, additional support. If I had another rider back here, yeah. Now, because I'm 275 pounds, the bike's weight capacity is 330. Can you probably get away with a little bit more? Maybe, possibly, but the weak link is probably going to be the hinge. You know, this is a folding bike. But 330 pounds, if you have that distributed over a couple different riders. And again, there are no foot pegs. You would be able to, I'm sure, buy some that clamp onto that lower bar. So the rider has something to put their feet up on. And as far as the highlight overall, it's going to be the long range of these two batteries. Now, the battery that's in this tube is 19.2 amp hour. It is 48 volt. And then this one here is 10 amp hour, the one that's hidden in here. Now, when you charge these, there's a port on the back here that you would plug into. It comes with a 3 amp charger. You're only going to charge one battery at a time, though. The other port for charging this battery is right here. As far as charge time, if these things are completely depleted, I don't know, with a 3 amp charger, you're probably looking at about 6 to 8 hours for each battery to be charged. Of course, this one a little bit faster. This one you might get done a little bit faster, but this one's going to take a little bit longer. If you want a safety factor, which, you know, a lot of us want that peace of mind, range anxiety, you know, you could run on just this one without turning this battery on. And if this battery's not turned on, once this is depleted, if this one's fully charged, or even, you know, technically almost, you know, just above half charged, you should be able to get back on this. So you might want to try that out. You might want to, you know, make it to where this one you don't run on at all. When this one gets really low, you get a warning. Go ahead and turn this one on and know that you have enough battery to retrace your steps and get back home if you're out on a ride. Hydraulic brakes are 180 millimeter brakes. These are Shaoyang tires. Again, very big tires. These are 26 by 4s. Big flotation type tires. Good on the beach. Good for suspension. It's a good soft ride whenever you got that big a tire. You only put 20 pounds of pressure on them, you know, at max. That's really all you need. You can lower the pressure if you're out, you know, like I said, on the beach, something to that effect. You can adjust your front suspension. And again, the rear suspension has air to where you can do the air shocks. That's not really necessary. Went together really easy, pretty simple. The display, like I said, is really good. Again, we're going to come back to this and talk about it a little bit more, and we're going to take it for a ride. I do like riding these bikes. The X24 was really nice, and I bet you this one is too. So that'll be another time. But for you, just a short little blip. All right, guys, so we're going to go for a ride now. I couldn't resist. It's such a nice day, and it's kind of quiet out, so boy, this thing's got good low end pickup. We'll just go around the block here, see what this thing is like. This road is really rough, so good test. Boy, this thing was quick, 29 miles an hour. What are my final thoughts on this? If you want one of the biggest bikes that are out there and one of the most heavy duty bikes, I haven't found one yet that's above this. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're out there. It's just I haven't personally put my hands on it yet, or my butt in this case. And as far as my butt goes, the ride is really smooth, and we have a very bumpy separated concrete road that hasn't been repaired in quite some time. It's an old hunk of concrete that's out there. So it handles that very well. I went through the yard here. I burned up the yard pretty good, you know, and the tires, the knobbies are just perfect. Of course, they do hum. The tires hum around, you know, whenever you're riding it, just because of the aggressiveness of the knobby part of things. The suspension, again, I don't think that the back shocks are really, they're just a little bit too aggressive. I would like to see the springs a little softer to where the shocks actually could use the air that's in them. They are air adjustable, but the thing is, the springs are so stiff, you really have to get on it for the rebound of the you know, the air to make a difference. Most of your shock is here. Most of it is right here. It's got a little O-ring here to keep the dust out and water out. The rear seat thing, that's nice. I mean, it's a nice touch. Again, if you're going to have passengers in the back, though, I would like to have seen you know, some foot pegs. Of course, having 8 speeds, a little bit better than 7. It's a nice smooth shift. Oh, on the display, very easy to read in the daylight, you know, bright sunlight, slightly harder. And the thing is I like to ride with my headlight on, and I think a lot of people should ride with their headlights on. But as soon as you do, all these manufacturers do the same thing, and that's dim the display. Well, you know, you can't read it so well in the bright light. And as far as the headlight goes, it's a good headlight. And of course, you know, your throttles here, hydraulic brakes. The brakes work pretty good considering how heavy the bike is, and again, how heavy I am. We'll go ahead and take a look at the bright light. It's kind of a standard light that they use, and they've used for a while. Good cable management. And again, the fact that it folds, I don't know how much you're going to use that. It will, though, give you an option. I've always said that, you know, a lot of people assume that folding bikes make them more portable or smaller. They don't make them smaller, they just change their shape. The good news is, if you fold it, you might be able to set it or, you know, lay it down inside the vehicle. Of course, you got your standard tail light and then the brake light. I always say the same thing. If you're going to buy one of these bikes, you're going to get out in traffic at some point in time, invest in a very good aftermarket clamp on, bolt on, zip strip on, whatever, flashing strobe light. And the same for the headlight. We've got a couple of pretty nice ones. I think we paid, and don't get me wrong, we don't have the best ones, but we got pretty good headlights. I think we paid $40 a piece for them, or $30 a piece for the headlights, and they work very well. Everybody definitely sees us. And as far as the taillights, we always get something that's pretty decent there too, and they're not very expensive, but they can be, and they should be. So if I have to be critical about the bike, a little heavy. The suspension on the rear is okay. It does a good job. It just, I think it could be dialed in or tuned in a little better, and you may be able to do that yourself, tell you the truth. If you're handy, it's just a matter of replacing that shock, or the spring, I'm sorry. And as far as the bike itself and its, you know, its overall functions, the battery is awesome. I've seen that people have gotten up to 70 miles of range on this just with casual pedaling. That seems a little bit real world to me. I mean, that I like seeing that, because some of the claims of 100 miles or whatever, that may be a little far-fetched unless you're on eco mode, you're lightweight, and you're pedaling, you know, on, like I say, pedal assist 1 in eco mode, which would give you very little assistance. If that's the case, you can ride a bike unlimited miles if it's not electric. So I like to find, you know, some type of mileage range that's real world. You know, people that actually want the assist to work, go up hills, might be heavier, that kind of thing. And like I said, I seen up to 70 miles, or 74 miles, I think it is. I think that this might be a good bike for somebody that's like, hey, I don't want something that's fiddly. I don't want something that's small. I want something that's beefy. If I'm going to pay this money, I want something I can beat up pretty good. This is it. This is your bike. Like all of our videos, we may have a discount code down in the description. There'll be a link in the description. Please click the link. It'll take you to the bike, and at that point, whenever you purchase it, use whatever code we may have in there. Now, a lot of times we may not put codes, and that's because the sales may exceed whatever our code will give you. And right now, I know they have a big sale going on at time of filming, but you know, that's up to you. Oh, and another thing I forgot to tell you, it is an adjustable front suspension on the compression. It does work really well, that adjustability. And they also give you a hand pump, so you can inflate your tires while you're on the trail. It's a lightweight pump that you can mount relatively easy and out of the way. So that's it, guys. And this is you know, Engwe X26, the biggest flagship bike that they have, the biggest one, the best one. If you're looking for something from them, if you have other products from them, this is the one to go with. And as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.